Okay, we now welcome Greg Biffle, driver of the number 16 Pure Michigan Ford, who qualified on the pole for Sunday's 42nd annual Pure Michigan 400. Greg, talk a little bit about your pole-winning run out there today.
Well, I'll tell you what, Matt Pusha and the guys did a great job with this race car. We weren't sure what we were going to do, come here and qualifying trim or race trim or what, and we decided to do qualifying trim today. And the car was just really fast right off the truck. We were kind of wondering what we were going to do with the rest of practice. The car drove good, and we didn't have a lot to work on. That's a good thing. But, I had to get out of the gas just a little bit off of 2 and thought that might be my demise. Normally a driver can pick out one spot on the racetrack where he gave up a little bit, and that could cost you or could not. So I got a really good 3 and 4, and it was a good enough lap.
Okay, joining Greg appears Matt Kenseth, driver of the number 17 Kroger Ford, who qualified second for Sunday's Pure Michigan 400. Really Matt, talk a little bit about your qualifying lap today.
You're going to do a 60. Yeah, it was good. I mean, we had a lot of speed. Honestly, I kind of wish I went to watch a big screen and watched Greg's lap and saw his lap time, and I maybe wouldn't have tried so hard. I might have had a shot at it, but that's pretty fast. So I was kind of loose coming to the green, so I drove into one too hard on purpose to make sure my car stayed loaded up and tight enough, and got in there probably a car length too hard. But other than that, it was a good lap for us. Obviously, had a lot of speed. Since we got here, the same car we ran last time, that was real fast. So hopefully, get driving just a little bit better for Sunday and be up there again.
Okay, we'll open it up for questions for Greg and Matt. Please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Please state your name and affiliation. Questions? Okay, we got one over here with Mike.
Yeah, Mike Muller, MikeMuller.net. I know you guys are some of the greatest race drivers in the world, but 190 miles an hour on a 2-mile track. And last week, I think the top 10 qualifiers were like over the track record there. And I know Goodyear's doing a darn good job on tires this year. But are we getting too fast here? I mean, I think we asked you this back in June or something like that, but this is pretty fast.
It is pretty fast, but I think where we're at right now, I think the one good thing about this racetrack, and not to say that we don't need to improve facilities and repave and go on, but the one thing about this racetrack is that's only for one lap. It only goes that fast because the next lap's 0.3 slower, or 0.2, another 0.2, another 0.3, and then 6 laps in or so, we're running a second slower, a lap. And that's what makes this place so much fun and so fun to race at is the fall off. And so if it was that fast every lap for the whole tire run, it'd be pretty fast. Because that qualifying lap, we ask any driver, we're holding our breath. That's a pretty fast lap, but the speed slows down right away. Even the second lap, you saw, guys, it's 0.3 slower automatically. So,
all right, our next question will come from Don.
Greg, Don Coble from Morris News Service. First of all, no black eye, I noticed. Number 2, is this a good way to kind of, you need something to happen here in the next 4 weeks. You need a big comeback here. Is this an important good step, important first step?
Yeah, it certainly is. It's a big morale boost for the team, to come here and run as good as we did off the truck and get the pole. So, we got to have a win to get in the chase. It's obvious, but here, Bristol and Atlanta, are good racetracks for us, and I think we have opportunities. This probably, but is our best. Maybe opportunity here in Atlanta. We run very good at Bristol, but anything can happen. So, this is a huge deal for us, huge momentum for us going into Sunday.
Okay, we'll take our next question from Bob, then come up to Lee.
Bob Parker, SceneDaily.com. Greg, was it important, considering what happened last week, to have something good today? And Boris still says he doesn't like you very much, and you won't be spending Christmas dinner together, but you've kind of settled your differences. Can you kind of say where you are with him?
Yeah, I don't like Boris either, But, we set our piece, and that's it. And he still is, kudos to him because he's telling his side of the story. He says, Greg was upset because he qualified bad. He was 2 laps down, and he was mad because I raced him too hard last year. That's all incorrect. He wrecked me last year, didn't race me too hard. He can race me as hard as you want. Matt and I race hard together all the time. And I hate the person that says you can't oh, the guy's racing too hard. There's no such thing as racing too hard. So for starters, we clear that up. I don't have a problem with racing too hard. I have a problem with wrecking people. So what I have a problem with. And then, that race, he ran me off the racetrack in the carousel. That's the only thing that I was upset with Boris about. So, our deal's over with. And, we had our differences on the racetrack. That one instance, I told him I wasn't happy with it on the racetrack, and then I didn't go around him the rest of the day. So, we talked about that on the phone, and it's over.
Next question from Lee, then Nate.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. There's no doubt that Roush has great horsepower, but are you guys concerned with fuel mileage on Sunday?
Considered I've run out of gas about every race this year. These things always end up being. It seems like all these races have been fuel mileage races, and last year we led the most laps here and got caught the last stop of the day, and last week all of us ran out of gas. So definitely it's an issue, and when you make a lot of power, it takes fuel to make power. So our engines are good at making a lot of power, and our fuel mileage is getting better. So, but it could be a fuel mileage race, all of them can be.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it yet. You worry about it Sunday after, if you can make up a number, 40 laps on fuel, and there's a caution with 44 laps to go. Yeah, then you're going to worry about it. But until then, I'm not going to worry about it. Jimmy and I have talked about it a lot, and, both of us agree that racing is about going as fast as we can go, and we're going to bring the fastest cars that we know how to build to the racetrack, and we asked Doug for the most power that he can possibly build us, and we're going to go out and race hard and hope we got a fast car that can compete for a win on speed, and hopefully everything plays out like a normal race, and we can race them at the end. And if you get beat on fuel mileage or some people cutting their engines off or what have you, and circumstances work out that way, they don't get beat. But we both talked about a lot of times we're not interested in trying to go slow. We're going to try to keep going fast.
Nate.
Nate Ryan, USA Today. Matt, your car has I forgot to shave this morning. Your car has a new sponsor this weekend. Is that a sign of maybe things to come? Could that lead to a bigger, longer term thing? Because I know you guys are looking for a sponsor for next season. And how is that search, I guess, going generally? What have you heard?
The 100% honest answer is I have no idea. Crown sold off a certain amount of races for this year, and this was one of the races that they sold off, so I'm super thankful. Kroger picked this one up for us, and I think there's a couple more coming up. I can't remember which other races are having different sponsors on them, but Crown sold off some of them races, and this was one of them. So I'm not sure how they're making out for next year, to be honest with you. We've been kind of alongside of Jimmy with our head in the setup books and how we can make our stuff a little bit better here to try to make a run here at the end of the year and hopefully secure a spot in the chase and try to race for a championship. That's all we've been thinking about, really. So.
Okay, question from Wolfgang, then come back up to Reed.
A question either to Greg or to Matt, whoever want to answer. Next year you will go with fuel injection, what I was told or I heard. What do you think? Is this technology will change something from the driver characteristic, better fuel mileage, quicker lap times? And can you say anything about your testing schedule if you test the engine already or had tested already or will test later in the year?
I drove the fuel injection car in Kentucky at a test, and I thought it drove real similar to our cars now. It drove much better through the garage area and down pit road. At low RPM, the car responded better. So, I don't know how it's going to start hot and, if you run it out of gas, all those kinds of things. But I know they've done a tremendous amount of testing. And definitely somebody's going to maybe have a leg up on the other guy, the competition, manufacturers, when we roll it out next year, I think. But some guys will maybe be a little better than others. But there again, we'll have to wait and see. What's that?
Who's the manufacturer of the injection system?
I don't know. I thought it was Bosch maybe, but I'm not sure who the manufacturer. McLaren. I don't know. Yeah, McLaren. I know they've talked to a few, but I don't know who it's ended up. Yeah.
Go ahead, Reed.
Reed Spencer with Sport News. Greg, you've had a lot of good qualifying runs in the last 3 years, but are you surprised it's been that long since you've been on pole?
I knew that one was for him.
Thanks, Matt.
Last poll came at Dover in June of 2008.
There we go. Yeah, it takes the right combination. It takes the right qualifying draw, which now is set by practice time, and it takes a perfect lap, weather, everything plays a factor. For me to get a pole, it takes all the stars got to line up, and they did today. I just looked at it. Matt was almost 10th better than me in the middle of 3 and 4, but looked like he was scared to push the gas down. So that's why I'm up front.
I owed him one.
Any other questions for Greg or Matt? Gentlemen, thank you for your time.
You.
Congratulations. Good luck Sunday.